Hey guys, so I wasn't really planning on making a video on this because I did with the first episode and I thought, okay, I have already done it, so why another? What's the point? But I just watched the last episode and the immediate thought that I got was, man, I gotta talk about it. Let's talk about what happened after that insane premiere. Whatever I thought that could go wrong kinda happened. Let me explain. The problem with making a really good first episode is that the rest of the season will struggle to keep up with that energy, and I think our minds would naturally look for something that feels that way throughout the show, and that was very prominent in this show. After that episode, the show focuses on building the lore, which was interesting. I'm not saying that it was bad, but since Pennywise wasn't in the show until the fifth episode, the show tries to throw a lot of alternative ideas to keep the horror elements in the show going. It doesn't land all the time. At times, it got very repetitive and boring, honestly. I specifically remember watching the third episode ending and thinking, man, this looks awful. The CGI is absolutely horrible. It looked like a scene straight out of Goosebumps, not in a good way. Plus, the deadlight takes the form of whatever these kids fear the most, yeah. The show plays a little too much with this idea, and I thought, man, it's not creepy anymore, it's not scary. We get the point. Can we please move on? Is what I felt the entire time. Throughout the scenes, the only thing that kept me watching was Dick Halloran. Every subplot they explored with him was nothing short of amazing. He is kind of the highlight of the show. We get to know the lore of Derry and the deadlights through him. So it kind of felt like this was Halloran's show, even more than the kids, I would say. And I'm glad they went down that road because whenever they explored the lore with the kids, it was just not as good. It was not the worst, but it was just alright, you know. But I still felt like there was something missing in the show. The it factor was just not there. It was just missing until Big Penny pulled up. Bro, I know Billskarsgard is not gonna win any award for this show because they usually give it to some drama kind of show. You know what I mean, right? But are you really gonna sit here and tell me this isn't one of the best performances of this year? Like, you can tell how physically demanding this performance is just by looking at his body language and everything. You can tell he absolutely nails it. I'd say he was more terrifying and just as a character it worked more than the movies. He took the most creepiest character ever and made him look a bit sad and empathetic. And he did it in a such small span of time, which I thought was very impressive. When I finally watched the show, I thought, man, they are gonna make me hate Pennywise because he's also gonna come back and scare the children and go away, and he's not gonna do anything different. But the show explores his lore and his backstory as well, and how it connects to Halloran. That saved the show for me, if you ask me. And then, yeah, of course, Bill brings a whole new level of evil to this character, to the point where it was a detriment to the movies. If Bro was moving so hard in the 60s, why wasn't he even more terrifying in the 80s, bro? See, that's the problem with making a prequel. If the town has seen this clown before, and if the characters know it'll come back after 27 years, why didn't they warn or at least do anything to save these people? What the fuck was Rich's mom doing, bro? But I guess the show justifying it by saying it is someone else's fight in another 27 years, right? But man, it's still your kid, bro. Come on, wouldn't you do anything? I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. There's one other thing that bugged me very much in this show. This fella from the military, right? He knows very clearly what he is up to and what he is up against, and you know the consequences of letting it out. Yet, why did he work so hard to free it? Yeah, I know the show gives a reason, but it wasn't convincing. It made him look very stupid. You're gonna let a monster out just to infuse fear among the public, and yeah, who will control the monster after you let it out? How can you protect the people from it if you want to infuse fear? If you want to put fear in people, point a gun towards them, dude. They will get scared. Don't let a monster out which you can't control. It's so baffling to me that a person who leads the military made such an irrational decision even after knowing exactly what he's getting into. I don't know, it really bugged me. Even the relationship between him and that Native American just wasn't explored after that. I thought it will create like a conflict. It went nowhere. The show does a couple of stupid things here and there. This one and another scene with Pennywise's daughter, she knows very well wherever fear and murder happens, it will be there. And that's why she makes this guy fall in love with her and set him up. She made the whole thing happen, by the way, which I thought was such a cool plot. I thought the whole plan was like low-key menacing until she said, you're not my father. What the hell was that? Of course it's not your dad. You know very well it's a monster. What took you so long, dude? I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. Here and there, the show did some shit just for the convenience of the plot. That really took me out. By the way, that scene was so tense. I thought he was gonna kill her, but Penny didn't sense fear in her until she figured out that that wasn't her dad, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. But these are all the small problems. But even in terms of writing, there are some solid moments in the show. Like I said, Halloran's quest for searching the dagger and the whole thing created a lot of mystery, and I like that part very much. The native Indians lore was very interesting. Even though Big Penny shows up only in the last three episodes, I think that helped the show in a way, because if he was there the entire time, it would have been a bit too much, right? And it would have been not very scary, if that makes sense, because in the second movie he shows up a lot, and I clearly remember people in my cinema were just laughing, dude, because they just didn't find him scary anymore because he was there the entire time from the very beginning. So I guess it's smart in a way. Even how they included real world problems which was prevalent at that time, and how they included that in the show, it made the story a bit more realistic and grounded, even with monsters and aliens involved, you know what I mean? And then the casting choices, I don't think I have a single thing to complain about. Perfecto is the only word I can think of. From the kids to the native Indian characters, everyone in the show was so good and they performed really well. Especially the children absolutely crushes it, man. And do I even have to mention everyone's favorite character right now? My dog Richie. I gotta say, I like these characters more than the adult version of the losers in chapter 2. I felt more connected to these characters and their struggles. I'm not talking about the first movie though. The first movie is perfect. I have no complaints about it, but the second movie. Let's talk about the ending now. The ending was way more satisfying than the second movie. Here, everyone struggles, and what they really have to go through to take Penny down was explained very well. In the movie, it was just silly, dude. Come on, let's be real here. Like I said, everything they did kinda here ruins the movie because they just bully him to death in both of the films. At least in the first one, it wasn't a big problem because they actually struggle and fight back their fears to take him down, and they were teenagers and their friendship played like a huge role, so it kind of felt earned. In the second movie it was outright just laughable, bro. I swear after a point no one in my cinema was taking the movie seriously. It got that bad. But in the TV show it wasn't like that. It felt really earned. Like until the very end there were like so many other factors that kept me at the edge of my seat, so that really helped. Here and there were so many other elements and law that helped to build some tension towards the end, which made the ending a lot better. Plus of course my goat pulled up to save the day, which was cherry on top. I was not expecting that. It was really heartwarming to see that friendship saved the day. Plus they mentioned Richitozier's name, which was amazing. Just so you know, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. I quote him all the time. Can only virgins see this shit? Is that why I'm not seeing this shit? He's one of the favorite characters I've ever seen. I can go about it all day, but I'll stop it. Maybe in another video I'll discuss about why he's the good. I mean, these are just fan movements, I get it, but I absolutely loved it because I'm a big fan of the film. So I'm not gonna complain. When Haralan says how bad can a hotel be, I was thinking, man, you have no idea. Plus I loved Beverly's cameo too. That was very unexpected. And I loved how they connected it to the first film too. It felt like full circle movement. The ending was just so satisfying to me. I have no complaints about it. I wish Stranger Things did something risky and daring like this, but they would never do it because it's just so popular. They can't take risks like what this show is doing. Let's be real here. So yeah, that's about it, guys. It has its problems, but I still think it was good. Definitely worth the watch. And I'd say give it a shot, especially if you're into these kinds of movies and TV shows, a bit creepy monster stuff, horror stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure you guys will love it. So that's about it, guys. Yeah, see you.